This is the second video of my micro food plot series. I'm trying to get some small food plots worked into the woods and clear the ground where it was otherwise grown over with thorns and unusable. So I'm out here today after it snowed a little bit, and I'm spreading lime on the area to help condition the soil. I do have a spreader that hooks up to the gator and I can pull it behind the gator. However, this area is so tight and so small, I thought that using a push spreader would be easier, and with the snow on the ground, I can easily see the broadcasting of the lime as it gets into the snow. I used several bags of lime in the areas, and now I'm ready to rototill the ground. I have the tiller hooked up to my Kubota, and the ground actually is working up pretty easily. I thought the ground might still be too frozen for this, but it is not, and it's a great way to get that lime worked into the ground. As I'm rototilling here, I am hitting a few small branches, and I actually rototilled up a old steel bumper from a vehicle that was probably buried out here years ago. I'm picking that stuff up as I go and building it into a brush pile. Unless it is rubbish, then I'm taking that back up to the house. But for the most part, this ground is working up really nice with really good quality black soil. This is going to really make sure I get good seed to ground contact when I'm spreading that seed out here. Here I am having a go in that second food plot area. This is the one that's a little deeper into the woods. This area had a lot more hidden objects underneath the ground that the rototiller was hitting on. I had to stop a couple times and scrape out some large logs and other objects that were hidden underneath the dirt from me until I rototilled it up. Overall, considering it's winter and the ground still has snow and ice on it, I was really pleased with how this rototilled up. I will definitely come back one more time and rototill it again to make sure I get the best seed to soil contact possible so that my seed has a better chance of taking in the spring. I'm going to fly over and give you guys a whole look of the area before I get out here and seed it. You can see I had some large stumps from when I had the area logged that I had to work around, and I definitely want to leave the healthier trees that are in this area. There are a couple that were growing crooked or that were knocked over and snapped that I did clear out of here, but for the most part what you see is exactly how it was before I started clearing this area and tilling it up. You can see the two big piles where I piled up most of the brush. I figured if nothing else that makes some good wildlife habitat. And there's the blind. I don't know as though the deer are going to get drawn in this close to the hunting blind just for that food, but I'm going to get seed down and I'm going to figure it out. I decided to use a hand spreader for the seed because it's such fine seed. I wanted to have more control of where it's going, and that push spreader would probably dig in a little bit and rut up this area and give me an uneven spread. Right now I am spreading some ladino clover seed. That ladino seed supposedly holds up pretty well in shaded areas, and since this is partial shade, I wanted to make sure to get something that was going to do well. I did quite a bit of research on it, and supposedly this will take, and while it might not grow as rapidly as it does in sun, it's going to hold up and it's going to do well in this area. I also went back over the area with a little bit of red clover, hoping that maybe some of that takes to give a little bit of variety in there. This is the second food plot here. It's a little more round as opposed to stretched out and long like the other one. Same thing here, mixing the two clover seeds. I'm planting it pretty heavy because I'm planting so early. I don't know what kind of take I'm going to get, so I'd rather go a little bit heavy than go too light. I'm not doing anything right now for a herbicide. I'll figure that out later, and we'll see if I even need it in part 3.